Everybody, Lieutenant Joe here for the Blue Heart webcast. Our sponsors, Blue360Media.com, RiotTint.com, and MedicalEssentialDiagnostics.com. Three great companies that support law enforcement, and they support this show, and I appreciate it. So recently I did an episode where we talked about the growth of hatred in the Charlie Kirk murder and a little bit about it. I'm thinking about going into it a little deeper, but I think we covered it for what it is. We can pray for Charlie and his family and for all of our country. What a horrible thing to happen. But there was also another murder that was in the news that kind of got supplanted by what happened to Charlie. And that was the Iryna Zarutska. I believe that's how you say her name. I want to say it respectfully. A young girl on a train, minding her own business, and a guy got up and stabbed her in the neck and killed her. People sat around and watched that happen. And then he walked off the train, made some comments that could be indicative of his motivation. But the reality is, this young girl did nothing to deserve that attack. She was sitting in her seat. There's video of it. It's just like watching the Charlie Kirk murder. It's horrific to watch the last moments of this young girl's life. She's just an innocent young girl sitting in a seat looking at her phone, trying to get home from her job. And this guy decides, for whatever reason, he opens a pocket knife and stabs her in the neck a couple of times. I think they said 3 times. People around her watched this. He walked off the train. She ended up, the picture of her looking up at this guy right after he did it, the fear on her face is horrific, and it's embedded in my mind. And then she slowly bleeds out, loses consciousness, and falls over. And then we see a pool of blood right on the train. As law enforcement officers, we have to deal with the result of these violent incidents. When someone does such a thing, you have to then go and investigate it. So I teach in a criminal investigation course where we look at a mock crime scene, evidence, and all that kind of thing. And while that prepares you to go into a crime scene, until you've actually been to one, it can be completely different than what you imagine. A person seriously injured, killed, murdered, blood scene, weapons, is a horrific part of being a law enforcement officer. That's what we deal with every day. I think they say the average person goes through 2 or 3 traumas in their entire life. A police officer in a career might go through 500 or 600 traumas, which, connect the dots. That's why we end up killing ourselves, right? So we have to be aware of these things that we're going into. When I think about that young girl, she could be anyone, any one of our citizens that we swore to protect and serve, just sitting on the train and attacked and murdered. So the question we have to ask is, how could any of us in law enforcement prevented that? Well, unless you were on that train and you started to see it happen, it's not a lot we can do. It's a mindset of crime. We have a mindset of crime where people feel empowered, entitled to just do whatever they want. Controversial. New York for a long time had stop and frisk. They had groups of officers out there looking for people that looked like they were carrying a weapon or about to engage in criminal activity. They would stop them and frisk them. Now, I am a proponent of stop and frisk when it's done lawfully, when it's done appropriately. You don't just grab everybody and start searching them. We know we can't do that. That's not constitutional, and we obey the Constitution. But the reality was they talked to lots and lots of people that were prone to carry weapons and commit crime. And they said when those officers were out there, they were aware of it. And a lot of times they left their weapons at home because they knew they could get stopped and frisked, and they find their gun, and off to jail they go, right? Felony with a gun. So it prevented crime. Now, I don't care what any of these pundits on TV say, these intellectuals say, these people. Crime can be controlled if we have appropriate, proactive, aggressive policing. if they let you go do your job. I think about the fear that that girl had when she got stabbed in the neck. Now, she must have felt the blade. She grabbed at her neck and then she looked up at this. Is he going to continue hitting me? Until she started to lose consciousness and passed out and bled out and died on the floor of a dirty train. You and I want to prevent that. That's what we do. We took an oath to do that, but that's in us. That's built into us as law enforcement, right? That's what we want to prevent. So I just wanted to mention her name here on our program because this is all things about law enforcement. And she is why we do our job. She is why we do our job, to protect innocent people from criminals. And I hope that there's a pendulum swing, and I think it's starting to happen in the country, where we've gone from this false idea that coddling criminals, ignoring crime, letting people rob and rape and burn and steal is going to get people to realize that that's not the right way to go. We should stop that. Hey, the cops aren't bothering us anymore, so we shouldn't commit. That's not how human nature works. Our jobs as in law enforcement people is to understand a situation and be able to figure out what happened, right? We do that every single day. Understanding human nature is what we do very well, right? We have cop eyes. We see a scene, everyone else goes, I don't see anything, but our cop eyes tell us that somebody's up to no good. We learn that through experience. We don't learn that because we hate people. We learn through experience, through events we've been to, the things people tell us. So we have to hope that our society continues to go back the other way to say, yeah, policing has to be done properly, constitutionally, fairly. But we also, as a society, have got to say, we can't just condone crime. We can't just say, well, people are they don't have the economics to not commit murder, rape, and robbery. People have had a tough time when they were kids, so that's why they murder, rape, and rob. Now, that's not a good reason to allow people to do that, right? Societally, should we help people that don't have money? Yes. Should we help people that have mental issues? Yes. We should do all of that. That's part of the responsibility of being a citizen. But we don't let just people let them go out and commit crime because they got problems. Why should they be able to victimize people because they have problems? We have to prevent that. And we do that with aggressive, proactive police work. That's all there is to it. It works every time it's tried. And I just wanted to say that for Iryna Zarutska, I think it is Zarutska. Remember her. Remember her name. She did nothing to deserve what happened to her. And you and I would protect her if we could. Well, there's other people we can protect. So do a good job out there. Be safe. Be smart. Do the right thing. And let's hope society catches up with some common sense thinking so that we can all live in a safer world. Everyone in every community, everywhere deserves to be safe. We'll see you next time on the Blue Heart Webcast.